Hello, in this video I want to talk about local and a little bit about environmental awareness in relation to local and how this impacts our well-being. Local pertains mostly to the self as well as what the self's experiencing regarding the surroundings. But not just the surroundings, it's more directly related to also our recognition and awareness of the environment in particular. And we can create and exercise various aspects of our psychophysiology through recognizing particular environmental stimuli or component objects in the environment. And how we interact with that impacts our well being directly. And you see this studied primarily in ergonomics, which has to do with how the environment and particular objects can support human behavior and also optimizing human behavior in terms of particular these ecological relationships or even through the use of tools and technologies and how these impact our well-being. And it's very much also associated with studies of human perception, motivation, emotions, feelings, actions, and behaviors. There's a pretty big literature on its association with perception and motivation in particular, and that's ergonomics. But it's primarily like you'll if you go say to an office store nowadays, there's a lot of items there that will say ergonomic friendly, or you'll especially if you're looking at a desk, you'll see there's a lot of focus on particularly office workers to start thinking more in these ergonomic wellness spaces and how we can keep ourselves healthy in pretty much any environment in ecology. So you'll see that sometimes there's more focus on how we're holding up our head and interact. And say if you're sitting at a desk all day, that's impacting our well-being. And that's important directly for local and understanding well-being with regards to local, because it has to do with understanding how environmental stimulation and stimuli impact us. And when we're kind of more in this passive mode, this is when we're more likely to experience maybe boredom or some of these negative emotions or negative feelings. And it's really getting curious about the environment, or also developing a healthy relation with your environmental surroundings that starts with environmental awareness, that we can get a lot more out of our local relations. And through these local relations, it directly impacts our well-being. It can impact our well-being through a pathway of perception, motivation, emotion, feeling, actions, or behaviors. And so when we're getting, say, curious, we're operating through a perceptual apparatus initially. We're perceiving something that's interesting and stimulating in the environment, and there's the environmental stimuli right there. And we might develop motivations or emotional responses or feelings in association with that, and act in particular ways or behave in particular ways that can either promote or negatively impact our well-being. And when we develop more of this environmental awareness in relation to self-awareness, we can start building more of these optimal ergonomic relationships or optimal relationships between the self and the surroundings direct within a local apparatus that supports our well-being in every day. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I wanted to keep it nice and short and put that out there for